been told that self-pleasure is harmless, maybe even good for your health. And for most of your life, it probably was. But what if I told you that after 60, the very way you've been doing it could now be quietly stealing your energy, weakening your legs, and even putting you at risk for a dangerous fall? There was a man, 73 years old, who passed away alone in his bedroom. The cause? A simple moment of self-intimacy that became a fatal mistake. No warning signs, no symptoms, just a routine he'd followed for years until his aging body could no longer handle it. There's a side to this habit that no one talks about, especially as we grow older. What once brought comfort and release may now be silently draining the strength you depend on to stay mobile, steady, and independent. I'm Dr. James, a men's health specialist with over 30 years of experience helping older men stay strong, confident, and in control of their vitality. And what I've seen time and again is that most men never think twice about their intimate habits until the consequences show up in ways they never expected. Because after 60, everything changes. Your hormones shift, your blood flow slows, your nervous system becomes more sensitive. And a few simple mistakes repeated over time can leave you feeling exhausted, foggy, or dangerously off balance. In this video, I'm going to reveal 6 critical masturbation mistakes that older men are almost never warned about, and more importantly, I'll show you exactly what to do instead so you can protect your energy, improve circulation, and feel like yourself again. And the most dangerous mistake, the one I've seen lead to hospital visits, collapse, and yes, even heart strain? I'll share that near the end, because once you understand it, you may never look at this private part of your life the same way again. Before we get started, if you find this kind of honest, helpful health advice valuable, I'd love for you to subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a video made with your well-being in mind. And if this message speaks to you, just type a 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I'm always listening and looking for ways to serve you better. This first mistake is something many men make without even realizing it, and the consequences, though silent at first, can be surprisingly serious. Mistake 1. Doing it late at night when your body is already exhausted. One of the most common mistakes I see among older men is waiting until late at night to engage in self-pleasure. Now I understand why it happens. After a long day, when the house is quiet and there's finally a moment of privacy, it can feel like the perfect time to unwind. And for many years, maybe even decades, it probably worked just fine. But here's the truth. As we age, our bodies don't recover the same way. After 60, everything changes, from how we produce hormones to how our nervous system responds to stimulation. You see, late at night, your body is naturally trying to slow down. Your testosterone levels are lower. Your nervous system is in a rest and repair mode, and your blood sugar levels are often dipping, which can leave you feeling weaker, lightheaded, or fatigued. When you choose to masturbate at this time, your body is forced to push itself, drawing energy from already depleted systems. That includes your muscles, your heart, and especially your brain. What might feel relaxing in the moment can end up draining your energy reserves even more. Some men tell me they wake up the next day feeling groggy, sluggish, or even a bit off balance. They say their legs feel heavy or they're not as steady when they get out of bed. That's no coincidence. This habit of late-night stimulation might be quietly contributing to that fatigue and, more importantly, to your fall risk. Think of your body like a battery. During the day, you use up energy to move around, think, digest food, and stay alert. By the evening, especially if you're over 60, that battery is already running low. So when you place another demand on your system, one that involves a spike in heart rate, muscular tension, and nervous system engagement, you're asking more than it can comfortably give. And when that happens night after night, the long-term effects can add up. You may also notice changes in your sleep. Even though some men assume this habit helps them drift off, it can actually disrupt deep sleep cycles. That's because the body must go through a period of physiological recovery after stimulation. Your heart rate changes, your blood vessels constrict and dilate, and your brain releases certain chemicals that can interfere with the body's natural sleep rhythm. Poor sleep, as you know, leads to poor energy, weaker balance, and a slower mind the next day. It's all connected. So what's the better approach? It's not about quitting intimacy or pleasure, it's about timing it right, when your body is in a better state to handle it. For many men, earlier in the day, after a light meal, a walk, or even a nap, can be a far better time. Your energy is higher, your mind is clearer, and your body is more responsive. That one change alone can help you feel more stable, more alert, and less fatigued the next morning. Making this shift may seem small, but the difference in how you feel afterward can be remarkable. It's about protecting your reserves, not draining them at the most vulnerable time of day. Because when you're already tired, even the smallest extra demand can tip the balance. But this is just one piece of the puzzle. What if I told you that doing it too often without giving your body time to recover might be just as harmful, slowly wearing you down from the inside out? Let's take a closer look at the second mistake and how it may be affecting your energy in ways you've never considered. Mistake 2. Doing it too often without recovery time. Now let's talk about something that's easy to overlook: frequency. This is a subject many older men avoid, but it's one of the most important conversations we can have. Because what worked for your body in your 30s or 40s doesn't always serve you in your 60s, 70s, or beyond. And one of the biggest mistakes I see is this: doing it too often without giving your body time to recover. You might not think of self-pleasure as something that needs recovery, but let me tell you, it does. Every time you climax, your body goes through a real, measurable process. Your heart rate increases, your muscles contract, your nervous system shifts from an excited state to a recovery state, and most importantly, your body releases neurotransmitters and hormones like dopamine, oxytocin, and prolactin, which all affect your mood, energy levels, and overall stamina. For younger men, the body bounces back fairly quickly, but after 60, that recovery takes longer. The systems responsible for hormonal balance, tissue repair, and even mental clarity all start to slow down. So when you're stimulating yourself frequently, day after day, or even multiple times in a single day, your body may not be getting the rest it needs to recharge. Over time, this can leave you feeling drained, foggy, or physically weaker, even if you're not entirely sure why. Some of the men I've worked with have told me they just thought their age was catching up with them, that it was normal to feel tired all the time or to lose that spark. But when we took a closer look at their routines, especially how often they were engaging in self-pleasure, we found the missing link. They were using up energy faster than their body could rebuild it. And once we adjusted their habits, gave their system a chance to rest and reset, the improvement in their vitality was noticeable. You might also find that excessive frequency starts affecting your motivation, your focus, or your drive to connect with others. That's because overstimulation can dull the sensitivity of the brain's reward system. The things that used to excite or inspire you, walking, socializing, even hobbies, can begin to feel flat or uninteresting when your dopamine circuits are out of balance. And that's not just a mental issue. It can contribute to a sedentary lifestyle, muscle weakening, and an overall loss of engagement with life. What I want to emphasize here is that moderation is key. It's not about shame or restriction. It's about listening to your body and giving it time to restore. If you wake up feeling unusually tired, if your legs feel heavy, or you find yourself dozing off during the day, it may be a sign that your nervous system needs a break. Not just from physical activity, but from overstimulation too. A good rule of thumb is this: if your body feels noticeably less energized the day after, that's your signal. Cut back a bit. Give yourself more time between sessions. Let your body rebuild its reserves, and you'll find that when you do engage, it's more satisfying, more balanced, and less likely to leave you feeling depleted. But there's another factor that many older men don't consider: how their body is positioned when they do it. Believe it or not, poor posture during self-pleasure can quietly strain your back, hips, and joints in ways that affect your balance and movement. Let's explore that next, because this is one mistake that sneaks up on a lot of men, and correcting it can make a world of difference. Mistake 3: using poor posture that strains your spine and lower back. Now let's talk about something that very few people ever mention when it comes to self-pleasure, but it can make a bigger difference than you might think, and that's posture. Specifically, how your body is positioned while you're engaging in this very private act. You see, as we age, our joints become more sensitive. Our muscles don't recover as quickly. The spine, especially the lower back, becomes more vulnerable to strain, compression, and stiffness. And yet many older men still carry on this habit the same way they did decades ago. Slouched over in a chair, curled up awkwardly in bed, or twisted to one side without even thinking about it. What most don't realize is that this kind of poor posture can quietly wreak havoc on your musculoskeletal system. When your body is misaligned during stimulation, you're putting pressure on areas that are already weakened by age: your lower back, hips, neck, even your shoulders. And over time, these small, repeated positions create chronic tension, pinched nerves, and postural imbalances that can affect your ability to move, walk, or even stand without discomfort. I've spoken to men who suddenly noticed they were having more trouble with balance, or they were waking up with stiffness that just wouldn't go away. And many of them never thought to connect the dots between those aches and the way they were positioning their bodies during private moments. But once we brought awareness to posture and made a few adjustments, things began to improve. Think about how much time you spend simply sitting or lying down each day. Add in poor form during self-stimulation, and now your back and pelvic muscles are under even more stress than they should be. That can tighten the muscles that control your hips and legs, restrict blood flow, and make it harder for you to feel steady when you get up from a chair or take that first step out of bed. So what can you do? First, start by simply paying attention. Ask yourself, am I hunched forward? Is my spine supported? Are my hips twisted? Try to sit or recline in a position that keeps your back aligned and your joints relaxed. A small cushion behind your lower back or under your knees can make a world of difference. And afterward, a gentle stretch, a simple forward fold, a few leg raises, or a slow walk around the room can help reset your posture and keep your body feeling loose. Taking care of your physical alignment isn't just about preventing pain, it's about protecting your mobility. When your spine is strong and your muscles are balanced, everything else, your energy, your balance, your confidence, starts to fall into place. And here's something most men never consider. The emotional weight they carry during these moments can have just as much of an impact as physical strain. Shame, guilt, or old beliefs can create stress responses in the body that drain your vitality from the inside out. So in the next section, let's talk about the mental and emotional habits that might be quietly stealing your strength and what you can do to reclaim peace, clarity, and control. Mistake 4. Mentally associating it with shame or guilt. This next mistake is one that's often hidden, buried deep beneath years of silence, personal beliefs, and cultural messages. And yet, for many older men, it's one of the most damaging of all. I'm talking about the emotional weight you carry around self-pleasure. The guilt, the shame, or the quiet discomfort that lingers long after the moment has passed. You see, growing up, many men were taught that this part of themselves was something to be embarrassed about, or even something to hide. Over time, those ideas took root, and even now, decades later, those feelings can still follow you, quietly shaping how you think and feel about your own body. When you bring guilt or shame into a private moment, your nervous system feels it. The body can't tell the difference between emotional stress and physical danger. It reacts the same way, by releasing cortisol, tightening muscles, raising your blood pressure, and throwing your hormones out of balance. That's not just an emotional burden, that's a physiological one. And over time, it chips away at your energy, your immune system, your clarity of thought, and even your ability to sleep deeply and restore fully. I've worked with many older men who told me, I just don't feel good afterward. And often it wasn't the physical act itself. It was the emotional story playing in the background. Thoughts like, I shouldn't be doing this, or what if this means something's wrong with me? Those thoughts don't just pass through the mind. They create tension in the body. They drain energy. They even affect your confidence and how you carry yourself throughout the day. But here's the truth. There is nothing wrong with wanting closeness, with wanting to feel connected to yourself. In fact, that desire is very human and very healthy, at any age. When you shift the way you think about it, when you give yourself permission to experience intimacy without judgment, the body responds. Stress levels lower, sleep improves, And over time, you start to feel lighter, more relaxed, and more present in your own skin. It may feel strange at first, but speaking to yourself with kindness and understanding during these moments can create a powerful change. This isn't about shame, it's about respect. Respect for your needs, respect for your body, and respect for the man you've become after all these years. Emotional health is physical health. They're two sides of the same coin, and when you begin to release those long-held emotions, you create space for energy to return, naturally and without effort. Now, emotional stress is one part of the equation, but there's something else that often gets overlooked. Something as simple as what you drink and eat before or after these moments. Because the truth is, when your body isn't properly nourished, this one habit can take more from you than you realize. Let's explore that next, because just a few small changes can help restore strength, clarity, and balance in ways that may surprise you. Mistake 5. Ignoring hydration and nutrition before and after. This next mistake might seem simple on the surface, but it has a powerful effect on how your body responds to even the smallest physical activity, and that includes intimate moments. It's something many older men never think twice about, but it's quietly playing a role in how tired, lightheaded, or off balance they feel afterward. That mistake is ignoring hydration and nutrition both before and after self-pleasure. Let me explain. Masturbation, though private and often seen as a small, isolated act, still requires effort from your body. Your heart rate increases, your blood vessels expand and contract, your nervous system shifts into a state of arousal and then recovery. It might not seem intense compared to going for a walk or lifting weights, but it still uses up fuel. It depletes fluids, burns through minerals like magnesium and zinc, and places a demand on your cardiovascular system. Now, if you're already mildly dehydrated, which many older adults are without realizing it, you're going to feel those effects more strongly. Afterward, you might notice a sudden drop in energy, a little brain fog, or even a dizzy spell when you stand up. That's your body trying to rebalance itself without enough resources to do the job. And then there's the nutrition side of it. Your muscles, nerves, and hormonal systems all rely on certain nutrients to recover from stimulation. If you've skipped meals or haven't eaten something nourishing in hours, your body won't have the fuel it needs to bounce back. That can leave you feeling sluggish, mentally cloudy, or physically weak. And when that happens over and over, it contributes to a longer-term drop in vitality. But here's the good news. This is one of the easiest mistakes to fix. A glass of water or a small electrolyte drink before and after can go a long way in helping your body stay balanced. You don't need anything fancy, just stay ahead of thirst. And when it comes to food, a light, protein-rich snack like a boiled egg, a handful of nuts, or a spoonful of Greek yogurt can help replenish the nutrients your body uses during that process. These small acts of preparation and care can dramatically change how you feel. You'll likely notice less fatigue, steadier movement, clearer thinking, and a stronger sense of overall balance in your day. It's not about making self-pleasure into a chore, it's about supporting your body, so you're not left feeling worse afterward. When you give your body what it needs, it gives back. This is all part of honoring where you are in life. Your body has been through a lot. It deserves to be supported, not just during big moments, but in the smaller, more personal ones too, because those moments still matter. They affect how you feel, how you move, and how connected you are to your own vitality. Now, while hydration and nourishment are things we can control from the outside, there's one more mistake many seniors make, one that's more emotional than physical, but just as draining, and that's using self-pleasure as a way to cope with loneliness or emotional pain. It's a habit that can seem harmless, even comforting, but over time it may quietly disconnect you from the very things your heart needs most. Let's talk about that next. Mistake 6. Using it to cope with loneliness or depression. Now, this final mistake is one that touches something deeper. It's not about timing or posture or nutrition. It's about the quiet emotional patterns that many older men fall into without even realizing it. And that's using self-pleasure as a way to cope with loneliness, sadness, or the slow weight of emotional disconnection. Let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with wanting comfort. We all need moments of relief, especially in later years when life slows down, routines change, and the people around us may become fewer. But when those moments of self-intimacy begin to replace real connection, when they become the only source of comfort in your day, that's when it quietly shifts from something healthy into something that drains you. For many men, it starts small, a long evening with nothing to do, a familiar sense of emptiness. And so they turn to what's familiar, something private, something that brings a few minutes of release. But over time, this can become a substitute for something the heart truly longs for: companionship, touch, purpose, or simply being seen and understood by another person. The issue isn't the act itself, it's that it can create a false sense of fulfillment. You feel calmer for a moment, but afterward, you're still alone. And sometimes the loneliness feels even heavier than before. That cycle, seeking relief, feeling empty, then seeking again, can begin to erode your emotional energy. It can deepen feelings of isolation and slowly chip away at motivation, curiosity, and connection to the outside world. And here's the part many men don't realize. When your emotional world is drained, your physical world follows. You may feel more tired, less interested in moving your body, more likely to skip meals or stay indoors or stop reaching out to loved ones. Your circulation slows, your muscles weaken, even your balance and reflexes can begin to dull. The body and the mind, they speak to each other constantly. I've seen men who were sharp, vibrant, and full of life lose that spark because they quietly slipped into routines that kept them isolated. And in almost every case, when we address not just the habit, but the emotions underneath it, the transformation was incredible. Once they began rebuilding small but meaningful connections, calling an old friend, joining a group, or simply getting outside for a walk, their energy returned. Their posture improved, their confidence came back, and so did their joy. So if you found yourself relying on these private moments just to get through the day, I want you to know you're not alone, and you don't have to stay stuck in that pattern. There are healthier ways to meet those needs, ways that leave you feeling fuller, stronger, and more alive. You deserve more than a moment of relief. You deserve a life that nourishes you. And now that we've uncovered these 6 silent mistakes, you might be wondering, where do I go from here? What steps can I take right now to restore my strength, protect my energy, and start feeling like myself again? Let's walk through that together step by step. In the next section, I'll show you exactly what you can do, starting today, to reclaim your vitality and move forward with more power, more balance, and more peace than you felt in years. What you can do, starting today. Now that you understand these 6 common mistakes, you might be asking yourself, what can I do about it? How do I take this knowledge and turn it into something that actually helps me feel stronger, more balanced, and more energized? The good news is you don't need to overhaul your life overnight. This isn't about guilt or dramatic change. It's about simple awareness and a few small adjustments that respect where your body is today. Not where it was 20 years ago, but where it is now. And believe me, those small changes can add up to something powerful. First, start by listening to your body. Not just when something hurts, but throughout the day. If you feel a little foggy after a moment of self-intimacy, or if you notice your energy dipping or your legs feeling a little unsteady, don't ignore it. That's your body speaking to you. It's not criticism, it's communication. And when you pay attention to those signs, you can respond with care instead of habit. Timing is important. If you've been engaging late at night out of routine, try shifting it to earlier in the day, perhaps mid-morning or afternoon when your energy is more stable. Just that one change can help you feel more refreshed, less drained, and more connected to the rest of your day. Next, think about frequency. You don't have to set strict rules, but consider giving your body a little more recovery time. If you're doing it daily, try spacing it out. Notice how you feel after an extra day of rest. Your nervous system might surprise you with renewed clarity, focus, and physical energy. Posture is another subtle shift that makes a big difference. Sit upright, support your lower back, or lie down in a way that doesn't twist your spine or tighten your hips. Afterwards, a light stretch or short walk can help restore circulation and reduce any stiffness that might build up. Your joints will thank you for it. And don't forget hydration and nutrition. A glass of water and a small protein-rich snack before or after can give your body what it needs to recover and reset. When you support your body, it supports you right back. Just as important, take a moment to check in with your emotional world. Are you feeling connected, supported, and seen? Or have you been using this private act as your only form of relief or comfort? If it's the latter, I encourage you, gently, to begin adding small sources of connection to your day. A phone call, a walk with a friend, a new routine that brings you joy. These are the moments that truly refill your tank, emotionally and physically. You're not too old, you're not too late, and you're not stuck. Every man has the ability to feel better, to move with more ease, to think more clearly, and to live with greater purpose, no matter what age. It starts with awareness, then a decision, and finally a little consistency. So starting today, I invite you to treat this part of your life with more care, more understanding, and more intention. Your energy is valuable, your body is wise, and you still have so much life ahead of you, full of moments that matter. What you choose to do next can open the door to a stronger, more vibrant version of you, one that feels deeply alive, steady on his feet, and fully in control of the energy that keeps you moving forward. Final thought: reclaiming your vital energy. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you, because by listening, by reflecting, and by staying open, you've already taken the first and most important step toward reclaiming something many men don't even realize they've lost: their energy, their confidence, and their sense of control over their body. The truth is, growing older doesn't mean giving up the parts of yourself that make you feel alive. It doesn't mean settling for weakness, fatigue, or a quiet sense that something just isn't quite right. It simply means learning to relate to your body in a different way, a more intentional way, a way that honors the changes you've lived through and the wisdom you've earned. The 6 mistakes we've talked about today aren't meant to shame you. They're not here to make you question yourself. They're here to give you awareness. Because with awareness comes choice, and with choice comes power. The kind of power that allows you to protect your energy, move through your day with steadiness, and show up for your life feeling like the man you still are. You see, the body has a remarkable ability to bounce back. Even in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, the nervous system can reset. Muscles can regain strength. The heart can beat more efficiently. Circulation can improve. Sleep can deepen. And your mind, your mood, and your relationships, they can all come alive again when you stop pouring energy into habits that drain you and start directing it into choices that lift you up. Maybe for you, that starts with something simple: changing the time of day you engage in self-pleasure, or drinking a glass of water first. Maybe it means checking in with your emotions before you act, or asking yourself honestly whether you're using it to escape something deeper. Whatever it is, let that small step be your beginning. This isn't about restriction. It's not about guilt. It's about reclaiming your rhythm. Reclaiming the kind of vitality that makes it easier to get up in the morning, to move without fear, to think more clearly, and to sleep more soundly at night. That kind of vitality makes everything feel possible again. You deserve to feel that, not because you've done everything right, but because it's never too late to start doing what's right for you right now. So as you go forward, I hope you'll treat your body like a friend. Listen to it, support it, and trust that every small act of care builds toward a life that feels stronger, more stable, and more deeply yours. Your energy is not lost. It's waiting to return. Once you stop giving it away without realizing it and start giving it back to yourself, one choice at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope this message stays with you, not as a warning, but as a turning point. Because you're still here. You still matter. And your best years are still within reach if you're willing to claim them. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.